Hey Scorpio, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Happy to be here with you, Scorpio. What is this about? Looking at Capricorn and Neptune over here. Taurus. For some of you, you're working with a Capricorn. That is not for everybody. That seems like a nod to someone. There's a Capricorn involved in like some type of process that you're going through right now. Remember, we all have Capricorn somewhere in our chart. We all have a 10th house, MC. Okay. For some of you, remember, energies can always be reversed. We're just going to pick one narrative and go with that, and if this is reversed, you can apply it in that way for yourself. For some of you, there was somebody that came through and was approaching you. I'm getting continuously in a manner that you felt was not right for you, but there was like some sort of like habitual or addictive quality to this. You could have been maintaining a physical relationship with someone, but it wasn't spiritually what you needed. And or that could have been something in general that was going on, like maybe not understanding the value of a spiritual connection too, or maybe not being able to obtain that within your relationships. Like maybe at one point in time having a physical relationship felt like that was what you needed, and now you feel like it's redundant in a way when it doesn't have a spiritual component to it. So now you're working with a sense of spirituality, maybe some sort of background, higher consciousness, something like this. There's almost a sense of like maybe in the past, in a way, even being fooled by the physical nature of something and maybe thinking that you would feel complete by like expressing yourself in that way. It's like things that maybe feeling very preoccupied by things that feel attractive to you, yet they were lacking some sort of component, spiritual component that you were looking for, and maybe now that's become a priority to you. It's almost like if something doesn't have that higher sense of consciousness, it's not worth it to you anymore. And maybe you're understanding too how that element of engaging in things physically that lack that spiritual component feels unfulfilling. It may feel satisfying or gratifying within a moment, but it's very fleeting, and it doesn't end up filling your cup, so to speak. So now it seems like you're working with another element. It seems like before maybe figuring things out when it comes to the first 3 chakras, which are very much related to our physical reality, and now it seems like you're going through a type of ascension or getting higher up on the chakras when it comes to the way that you're relating to yourself and the world around you, and maybe also higher realms in addition to that. For some of you, this could have been like the way that you had a relationship with someone and you're recognizing that you want something more, and now you're not looking for the same thing. Like you could have had something cyclical with somebody when it came to a physical relationship. And you're recognizing that you just feel bound by it rather than it being something that feels liberating. And this is something that you're trying to get around now, but it was something that you needed to figure out and see. And as I said before, this can be on both ends. It's like you could have accepted being approached by people that were just looking for a physical relationship, or you could have been the one approaching people in that way, like just in a 3D sense, just based off of attraction, rather than seeing things going on behind that. So now it seems like you want something more. It's like whatever you had before, it wasn't fulfilling to you, it wasn't satisfying for you, and now there's the search for something deeper than that. Maybe even searching too for like a higher connection with someone, a higher type of bond. It's like, yes, you do want the physical relationship, but you also want something more fulfilling, like to also be carried through that relationship. But there may have been even a it's interesting, I keep getting the word component. There may have been like a lack of like maybe even self-love, or maybe even needing to get to the point where it's like you were cherishing yourself more and understanding your worth more than you had been before. Maybe getting in touch with a deeper sense of love, which allowed you to understand both how you wanted to be treated and also how you wanted to treat other people, how you wanted to handle other people. Yeah. It really looks like you're like searching for a very a much deeper type of connection and relationship, and it's like you also are looking for someone with a similar like background, belief system, philosophy as you, something that you can connect with somebody and feel in harmony with them when it comes to like your moral system, or like a code that you live by, which would make it easier to converse and relate to this person. You could be moving more into the realm as well of like understanding your boundaries, and also understanding better how to express your boundaries as well. Like not holding back so much anymore when it comes to that. Maybe not wanting to compromise on certain things. For some of you, there were just a lot of physical things going on that may have felt distracting, and like things that you needed to work through. This can be like addictions, attachments, things like that that you needed to work through, codependency, anything that you feel like would have been holding you back from like reaching a more in-depth spiritual state because of feeling distracted by things physically that were going on. But now I'm seeing a working through that's happening, and the search for something beyond that. And there's a sense as well of, I'm hearing the word mitigating when it comes to the Knight of Wands here. It's like maybe actions that you feel like, maybe working on impulses that you have when it comes to physically how you want to be approaching people and the types of relationships you want to have. And doing this by like infusing love into situations and like that search for a deeper connection as well. Because it really seems like a type of restraint now that you're acting with that is extricating you from like whatever attachments or addictions that these were that you were dealing with. It would have been like anything that was going on that you felt like was out of balance. And this is too about believing that you actually have the control. Because for some of you, there may have been a sense of like, oh, well, I just can't help it. Like, I'm a physical person. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. or like that's just how I'm created. There's a sense of like taking back control because you're owning your power and what you can do with that. But maybe for like an amount of time there was a sense of not being able to grasp that, like not understanding that clearly. But now I'm seeing a step to be like, I get to make this what I want it. And because of taking time to understand things differently, there's a sense here of you empowering yourself now, Scorpio. And it's making it easier to maneuver within your relationships as well, is what it seems like to me. Yeah, I'm seeing that this is really a lesson in you like standing in your energy and being like, I get to create this as I want it, and that you're not like enslaved to the like addictions or attachments that you have. You get to be the one that's deciding how things go. But yeah, this could have really taken like a while for you to figure out how to do this. But I'm seeing you getting to a point where you're finally understanding something. It's like something is finally clicking for you. For some of you, you could have had some sort of experience that you feel like you went through and it really woke you up to like cycles that you had been in, and a way to get out of those cycles as well, like a way to transcend those experiences that you kept having that you didn't want to have to live through any longer. And there's a sense of not feeling so helpless any longer too. But I'm getting that all of this is about like core beliefs and also belief within self too. Because you could have also recognized that like maybe like the types of people that you were inviting into your life or certain habits were like sabotaging relationships that you had, or maybe like activities that you were engaging in may have as well. For lack of wanting to be vulnerable at times, or maybe like not trusting other people. So maybe this is also something that you've been working on. Very interesting. So I'm seeing something new that you're starting here. I'm hearing the word consecrated. I'm looking at, I'm hearing the High Priestess. I'm looking at the Hierophant and the Four of Wands. For some of you, this is a new relationship that you're starting. This can be something romantic, contractual. This can also be something platonic as well. But it seems like you're getting together with someone and working with them. It seems like you're more readily communicating as well. And maybe this is something that you shied away from in the past. It's like having certain conversations. You may have like dodged or avoided certain things. And now it seems like because you're getting more clear on what you want and what's going to like be fulfilling to you, there's a sense of like wanting to lay groundwork in support of that which you seek. I'm looking at Capricorn, Neptune, Taurus, Sagittarius, and Saturn. It feels like there's some big fear that you're working through as well. There could have been an experience that you had that you really feel, I'm hearing ripped open by, like I'm seeing something that really deeply affected your heart chakra. And maybe it affected relationships after that too. It's like that fear of being taken advantage of. You could have also dealt with someone that put you in a place where you felt like you couldn't let your guard down with other people too. So as I said before, maybe working through things when it comes to trust, but I'm getting that the foundation of this is self-trust. Yeah, it seems like it seems like such a question. It's like everything that comes through, like feeling suspicious of all of these things. And that like really grinding you down and worrying you. It's like you don't want to get hurt, you don't want to be lied to, you don't want to be taken advantage of, and there's a sense of like maybe even hyper fixating on this or anxiety when it comes to that. Like every time some sort of opportunity or offer comes through for you, it's like in the back of your mind those scenarios are playing. So this is really about clearing the heart chakra. Yeah, it's like, who can I trust and who is not to be trusted? Definitely that feeling. It almost feels too like really not trusting yourself too, and that could have been having you feel confused, but this may have been something that was projected onto others. As I said before, energies can always be reversed. This could have been someone you were dealing with. But for some of you, this was for sure your experience. Because of a lack of self-trust, because the heart chakra was blocked, there was a sense of being confused as to like who you wanted to put your faith and trust in and who you couldn't. And because of like not really being able to resolve that or figure that out, just constantly feeling worried and disrupted because of that. Because it's like these looming thoughts that you kept having. And it's like every time you felt attracted to something, feeling suspicious of it because you didn't want to be taken advantage of. This seems like really heavy. I'm hearing groundwork and also shadow work that's being done. For others of you, this is somebody you were dealing with, that it was like they just weren't willing to get vulnerable with you and show up in that way because they had things that they needed to work through. And maybe that was something that needed understanding. It's like no matter what, it wasn't going to work out because someone needed to do work on their heart chakra. And maybe this is also about accepting that too, about allowing things to be what they are and like meeting people where they are too within their own process. And understanding that if something isn't ready, it's not going to work out. And this can be too about self-forgiveness as well, because if this was you, yeah, I'm getting that all of this is based on like a past example, relationship, situation, experience that you had. It's like, and maybe even getting over something that you felt like was a missed opportunity in a way, because of the way that things happened, the way that things unfolded. There's a sense of really focusing on interpersonal relationships and a dynamic with someone, or maybe what you hope to be entering into your life, and needing to reflect on that and move to a place where you feel calm and where you feel safe as well, a sense of balance that you're gaining. For some of you, there's a really big sense of healing that you're moving through. You could have not like immediately read someone's character and there was a situation that unfolded where someone's motives were revealed to you, and that could have been like a shocking or stimulating, I'm hearing stimulating experience that you had. And it's something that you've been thinking about in relation to, yeah, a past scenario that had happened. But I'm seeing you be able to move on from this, and in doing that, there's a sense of healing as well that's being completed. I'm looking at Gemini and Virgo. And Cancer. Yeah, I'm seeing you finally get to a place where you feel like you've overcome certain obstacles that you needed to work through. And gaining a form of enlightenment as well. It seems too like because of the blockages in the heart chakra, you could have had a really hard time connecting with a higher level of intuition, but because of doing this healing work that was necessary, now there's a sense of being very much in touch with like a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of intuition, and I'm seeing that this is something that you wanted to attain for yourself and something absolutely that you have now. Like I'm seeing this end, and we're going to end it here. I'm seeing this end with you coming out as the high priestess here, which is like the highest level of being in touch. So like very keenly in touch with your intuition in a way that you hadn't been before. And it took working through all of this in order for you to achieve this status, in order to get to this place. So I'm looking at Cancer and the moon in this spread. Could also have moon in the 12th house even. And with moon in the 12th house, you could have had a hard time like uncovering things when it came to your emotional experience as well, and like kind of decrypting, interesting, decoding. But yeah, I'm seeing you come out in a very, very like esteemed, desirable position when it comes to you and how you're in touch with yourself and also that which is around you. I'm hearing something about reading energy. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.